This is Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. Here now, Tony Bruschi.
There's a moment in every parent's life when instinct overtakes reason, when panic becomes action, and the idea of waiting on a broken system feels like a luxury no one can afford. That's the place Aaron Spencer found himself in one night in Arkansas. His daughter, 14 years old, gone, taken, allegedly, by the same man who'd already been charged with grooming, assaulting, and preying on her. A man with 43 felony counts to his name. Out on a shockingly low bond. And somehow still slipping through the cracks of a justice system that was supposed to protect her. This wasn't a movie. It wasn't a vigilante fantasy. It was a father waking up, seeing his daughter missing and acting, maybe imperfectly, but desperately, but with one goal in mind, getting her back alive. By sunrise, Michael Fosler was dead in a ditch. Thank God. Aaron Spencer had shot him after a roadside confrontation where his daughter was found in the predator's truck. He literally kidnapped his daughter in the middle of the night. Now Spencer is facing second-degree murder charges because it's Arkansas. And a community is asking, was this justice or was this retribution? And why was this father put in the impossible position in the first place? Today, we're breaking it all down with defense attorney and Defense Diaries host Bob Motta, a guy who knows the way around the courtroom and isn't afraid to call out prosecutorial outreach or overreach, systematic failures, or the moral gray zones we rarely like to confront head on. So let's talk about it, not just what Aaron Spencer did, but why the law may be not on his side. And what it actually says about the legal system that leaves parents hanging until it's far too late. Bob, walk us into this. Where does the line between justified defense and unlawful force really sit when the system has already failed?
You did a nice job of kind of explaining how this whole thing went down, but in terms of self-defense or defense of another, which I think it would probably fall more into that category, the defense of another being his daughter who's in the truck. Because like, let me back up a little bit. When this thing first came out, a lot of people were trying to say, oh, vigilante. This isn't vigilante.
Not at all.
Because the way that this thing played out is Michael Fosler had, there was an outcry by Aaron Spencer's daughter, okay? And she told her parents that she had been assaulted, essayed twice, like over a course of months or maybe more times. The mother, Heather, immediately calls 911, reports him. He ends up getting charged. They hammer him with 43 counts from aggravated sexual abuse of a minor, and then stalking and grooming and possession of child pornography, everything relating to Aaron Spencer's daughter.
Yeah.
And so the judge decides to give this guy who's got high felony charges a $5,000 bond. Okay. $5,000. I'm talking high felonies, man. In Illinois, for that CASM, if you are charged with that and convicted of it, you're doing 20 to 30 years easy. If there's multiple occasions, they run consecutively, not concurrently. So you're likely in prison for the rest of your life on a couple of charges. Like this guy had 43 charges. He walks out on $5,000. 3 months goes by. So if Aaron Spencer was the vigilante dad, as soon as that guy got out, he would have gone and killed him.
That's vigilantism right there.
That's vigilantism.
Yes.
So when you have a situation wherein this guy, Fosler, had been grooming this girl since she was 13 years old, and they had met through a mutual family friend, a friend that the Spencer family had known for a long time, who they trusted completely. They were unaware that this guy knew these people and that was He was around them in general. Like if the Spencers were like, if they wanted to, you know, if there was a sleepover or she was going to hang out and play, this guy was like there unbeknownst to the Spencer family because they just didn't know that they had a relationship with this guy because they were two separate things with this one family in the middle. So finally, at some point, like I said, the daughter makes the outcry. Initially, who knows what Aaron was thinking, but whatever they decided to do ultimately was to call law enforcement and let the law take its course. Let the system do what it's going to do. And so the system allows this guy out. Within a month, this guy is once again communicating, despite the fact there's a stay away order as a condition of his bond.
Those pieces of paper work really well.
Yeah, they're so effective.
Effective with predators.
Yeah. And so this guy starts communicating with the daughter again, sending her money, saying it's for, you know, DoorDash or whatever. Starts grooming her again.
Yeah.
Starts drawing her back in, this little girl, you know, and ultimately that night, what goes down is that I'm recording something seriously.
Can Bryn come over?
Yeah. So at that point, after the communication is happening, what goes down next is Fosler goes over to the house. Now, how he gets her out, whether it was her coming out, whether it was him coming in and grabbing her out, it doesn't really matter. She's 14. She's not at the age of consent, number one, for any kind of sexual activity. And number two, at that age, she doesn't have the consent of her parents to leave the house at that hour. So either way,
your kid's missing. You're going after them.
You're going after the dude. So the dog wakes him up.
Yeah.
Okay. Wakes the family up. Aaron's like, you know, mom's panicking. She calls 911. Aaron's like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to get in my truck. I'm going to try to find, you know, where she's at. So he gets in the truck and he sees Fosler's white pickup like almost immediately. Like driving, like he catches up to him, or Fosler's like driving back towards the house. We don't know. We don't know at this point. We don't know what the facts are. But he gets him. He's yelling for him to pull over to the side of the road. Pull over, screaming. Dude's not doing it. Ultimately, Fosler is rammed over to the side of the road and into a kind of a ditch. Aaron sees his daughter in there. He's screaming for her to get out of the truck for reasons unknown. She's not getting out of the truck. Instead, Fosler gets out of the truck and starts charging at Aaron, you know, very aggressively. Aaron pulls out his gun and puts this dude down. You know, empties his clip, goes over, cracks him in the face a few times with his gun, and he calls 911, reports it like immediately. So the difference between and I'm going to pull up. I want to pull up the actual statute for defense of another, because it's so in Arkansas. This is the code for use of deadly physical force in defense of a person. So, and that's section 5-2601 and 5-2622, and then 5-2607. Is defense of another. So a person is justified, and this is how it starts. A person is justified in using deadly physical force upon another person if the person reasonably believes. Now that's what matters here.
Reasonably
what was going on in Aaron Spencer's mind at the time that this thing went down? Okay. If he reasonably believes that the other person is, one, committing or about to commit a felony involving physical force or violence. Now, in my estimation, under the law, he has kidnapped that child.
Yes.
He has kidnapped that child.
How is that even a question?
Right. So, I mean, that's what you think, but a prosecutor in that county has decided to charge this guy.
I know. It's not like, hey, this creepy guy, that's been charged with essaying you for the last however many years or months. Yeah, he's going to pick you up in the middle of the night, go for a little drive. What could possibly go wrong? It's a kidnapping.
It's insane.
Yes.
So in kidnapping, in and of itself is considered a violent crime.
Yes.
Okay. So you've got that right there. 2 is using or about to use unlawful deadly physical force as to the other, or imminently endangering the person's life or imminently about to victimize the person from the continuation of a pattern of domestic abuse. Now, whether or not they consider that to fall under a domestic relationship is questionable, but I don't think that you need to get there.
It's a kid.
Because it's a kid, right? I mean, she cannot consent. Because there's been stories running around down in your neck of the woods that they were in a relationship. A 14-year-old.
It's not a fucking relationship.
You can't be in a fucking relationship with a 67-year-old creep.
No. So let's all take a breath and sit with the weight of what we just unpacked. What happened on that roadside in Arkansas wasn't clean. It wasn't cinematic. Well, maybe it was. And it sure as hell wasn't the kind of thing you plan. Aaron Spencer didn't stalk a predator with revenge in his mind. He responded to a moment of crisis and rescued his daughter from a kidnapper. Most of us can't even imagine doing that. And now he's the one in the defendant's chair, waiting to see whether a jury will understand what it means to be a parent pushed past the brink. But let's be honest, this isn't just a case about one father and one predator. It's about how easily child protection orders can be ignored, how shockingly low bonds let high-risk offenders walk free, how prosecutors will sometimes charge the desperate because the system would rather preserve its process rather than admit it broke down completely. Bob Motta walked us through the legal framework, the statutes, the language, the ways a defense team might frame this as a textbook justification under Arkansas law. But beyond the legal theory is the brutal reality. A girl was nearly taken again. And the only thing standing between her and God knows what was a father who chose action over waiting for the next hearing on the docket. So here we are, a grieving community, a dead predator, a father with a loaded firearm, a dead body, and a courtroom in his future. And a legal system that's now forced to reckon with the consequences of its own inaction. The real question isn't whether Aaron Spencer pulled the trigger, it's whether the system gave him any other choice. More than that, and what's coming up in our next segment with Bob, we'll dig into this even deeper. Be sure to press subscribe so you don't miss our continuing conversation on this case. Be sure to hit subscribe and leave us a comment. Let us know what you think on YouTube. Just search Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi. If you're not already there, you can find us on the podcast platforms as well. Do the same search, Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi, and you can follow us and never miss a minute in this case. Until next time, I'm Tony Bruschi. We'll talk again real soon.
Want more on this case and others? Then press subscribe now and don't miss a moment of true crime coverage from Tony Bruschi and the Hidden Killers podcast.